So I'm just gonna go and talk a little bit here. Not about much of anything. I'm just gonna go ahead and say the pledge and do the music, and then I'll come back and hopefully some people will be here by then, and we'll get going. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. He came out of your bedroom, by the way.
Things were gone. I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the man.
I'm not sure how much of that song you guys got or what you got, what's going on. But when I came back, I always stand up while I do the pledge and that. Walk around while I do the other, while the song plays. When I come back to sit down, I notice that we had lost the show again. So I can't blame it on the weather. It's beautiful, sunshiny in the 80s here right now. So I have no idea. It's just... There's some crazy, crazy things going on, guys. So, I want to say hi to all the kids. Say hi to everyone here. Thank you for coming on Friday night, end of the week show. We're going to cover what Bruce had to say last night. We're going to cover my favorite president in the world, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. We're going to cover a lot of things. Judy was very... the Restored Republic was really, really good today. And I want to advise, I can't do the justice here in tonight's show for the Restored Republic today. So on Messenger or find someone, myself, whatever, and ask. If you don't get the Restored Republic, ask for it and listen to it. It's I have to admit, it's one of the better ones. I did get a sighting from Patriot Diane with two N's today. She sent me a message of a picture with a guy that right next to him is a picture of a lady. You can tell that they're the same people. And she says, I'm tired of this bull manure. And I went back to her and I said, yeah, whatever happened to, like, when we were born, you was born either a boy or a girl. You know, I don't ever remember going to the hospital for a niece and nephew, my own children, my grandchildren. I don't ever remember going there. And when my daughter had my first grandchild, I don't remember walking in and saying, can I see my granddaughter? I remember saying that. I don't ever remember walking in and saying, can I see my it? What else would you call them? If they don't want to be a boy, they don't want to be a girl. You know, it's sickening. To me, it's sickening. And it has to stop. And there's things I'm not going to elaborate on that because I get very, very upset. I get upset that people who's run school systems promote this. They literally promote it. Why? All I can say, there's a word that starts with a G and it ends with an M-O, and I think a lot of people need to be getting there real quick. It's time for this to end. But we're going to talk about Judy and I said Bruce, and I got a few other things I want to add in there, but my segment on President John Fitzgerald Kennedy. I've been thinking about it a lot today. Ron sent me a video and said, listen to this. It's really good. It's with President Kennedy. And I did listen to it, and it was really, really good. Guys, I'm struggling, and you're going to hear me sniffling a lot tonight. I don't know if it's allergies or if I just have a tremendous cold, but I have a cough. My voice is coming and going on its own accord. I'm stuffy, and I might even go into a sneezing spell where I might sneeze eight or 10 times. So I'm going to get on with the show so I can get it over with. Not that I don't want to talk to you guys tonight, because my original plans was to do at least an hour to an hour and 10 minutes. But my health is not going to be, you're not going to want to sit here for an hour and listen to me go, so I want to talk to the kids. I want to talk to Jimmy and Jimmy. I don't know, Super Jimmy. I don't know if it's a coincidence or because of the way we are in our group, but all I do know is in the last week, my little man, we have been getting a lot of information on these magical, these special, these amazing beds. So that I guess the best thing I can say to you is just hang in there. Keep mommy healthy as you can, and let her know that it's going to be soon. I really believe that. I'm not just saying, some people, when they do shows like this, they'll say it's going to be soon, and they just say it. But I think two people that are honest when they say it's going to be soon that do shows like this is myself, and it's Bruce. Now myself, I want it because it's doing nothing for me financially. It's taking finances away from me the longer it goes. With Bruce, I don't know. I don't know his financial situation. I know that he has a couple people that's making very good money off of his show, but that's to be what it's to be. So Jimmy, just know that they're getting close. And Patriot 11, our little cowboy, boy, you must be getting excited. School's about out. You're going to be able to come and be with Grandma and Grandpa again, and just live your summer. What's funny here, Patriot 11, it seems like I remember with Grandma, her son messaged and said he's went with his grandpa to town. He'll be back at such and such a time. You can call anytime after that to talk to him. And it seems like it was just yesterday she did it. And then when you look at it, no, it wasn't just yesterday. It was 9 months ago. So just be patient, and everything's going to work out great. And Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and strong. And, someone asked me one day, which is a certainty that they've never seen the movie or series Wyatt Earp, because that's his song. Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and strong. Long live his days, long live his glory, and long live his story be told. So that's why I sing that, or I say that when I say Wyatt Earp. So just give Mom a hug and let her know you love her, and I hope you did really well for her for Mother's Day. And all the kids, now listen to me. Remember, the Sunday before, and you let your parents and your grandparents know, the Sunday before Father's Day is the Andersons' Children's Day. So let's make it a whole group. Let's make it a Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 Children's Day that Sunday. So Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, you got to take care of them little kids the Sunday before Father's Day. They take care of you 365 days a year, I hope. Patriot Princess and Patriot, our Queen and Patriot Hunter, I haven't been in much contact with your grandma lately, but every now and then I get a message from her, and Matter of fact, I haven't been in touch with a lot of people lately because I've just been busy with my own grandkids finishing up the school year. But I hope you're both having a good year in softball and baseball. And Hunter, I hope you're pursuing your happiness with all them cute little girls out there, which I know you're gonna be a ladies' man. I can see it already. As Grandma Jan is going, Ralph, shut up. You're encouraging him too much. But it is what it is. Patriot little Leona, you know, Patriot little Leilani, you two little kids, being named after my mom and my aunt, my aunt, I guess since she was last aunt I had that was alive, probably was my favorite aunt because she was always there. My mom and her were more or less twin sisters instead of just sisters. They was very, very close, and our family was very close. So uh, you're special to us, and you always will be, you two. Especially Patriot little Leona, because she's just got that little bit of heads up on the others. Patriot Boogaloo and Boogaroo. When I think of Jimmy and Patriot Jimmy and that, I think of you three because according to Grandpa John, you guys could use some help in that. And I don't know exactly, I haven't went into detail, but I just believe that we're so close to just have the faith. And Boog, just be careful. Man, you're 13 years old now, and you are an absolutely beautiful young girl. Your brother and sister are growing. You can be their babysitter, their designated babysitter. So for the kids, I wanna not just thank you for being part of our lives, but all the kids, 100% of the kids in the world. I when we go into the Redemption Center and we start the projects, it's my goal, God willing, to live long enough that we have every kid protected, every kid with a family, every kid with someone who loves them. The girl that I talked to in the Ukraine, we talk a lot about if we can't get parents, we talk a lot about certain things, like working with the kids, getting them out of homes and into homes. And so it's not going to be something that you can actually, do overnight. It's going to take time, but I believe there's going to be millions of people working for the kids, for the children. And that's what this is about. So, I hope you guys, the kids, I hope this part of the show you like. I try to do my best for you, but, you never know what your best can do. Okay. Oh, wow. How did I get there? Okay, so as I said earlier, guys, moving into the show, Ron sent me a video last night, and he asked me, he said, did you watch that video of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, President Kennedy? And I said, not yet. I'm going to watch it today or listen to it today. And so as I'm driving over to babysit the little monkey, as I'm going over there, as I'm finishing my chat with God, my talk for the day, I turned it on, and this man was so far before his time. We talk about the hat and what he can do, what he is doing, and that. And this man tried to change it back in the 60s. That's why he either is or he is no longer with us, according to millions of people around the world, maybe billions of people around the world. If you ask if he's still with us, they're going to tell you no, he was taken out in the 60s. If you talk to people who know a little more, they say, well, I'm not going to say what I want to say because to say what I want to say is misleading to people who don't know what I want to say. Okay? But you know that we really believe that there's a possibility. But as I was watching this video today, and he was talking, and whenever I listen to President Kennedy speak, and I've had people ask me, why do you care for him so much? I don't know. Maybe as the first president that I ever noticed in my life, because I was 10 years old on that fatal day. And maybe that's why I think so much about it, because I can remember when it happened. I can remember when our principal took our teacher and the other teacher, because we was in the school only had 3 teachers, first and second, third and fourth, and fifth and sixth, and the fifth and sixth was the principal. And when the phone rang, and all of a sudden he calls our teacher, Mrs. Colthurst, and the other teacher, Mrs. Collins, out into the hallway to talk. And when our teacher comes in, she's crying like a little baby. And we're trying to, hopefully she'll get her composure and tell us what's going on. Because when you're in the third and fourth grade, or first and second grade, or even fifth and sixth, and your teacher is crying like a little baby, it's kind of like, what's going on? And we was all asking, and she finally got her composure enough to tell us that he had been shot and assassinated. We didn't understand the word assassination back in the third and fourth grade. So she explained to us. And I can remember, as just like it was yesterday, I stood up and I said, no, nobody can kill my president. And to this day, I've never believed that they did. On the day my mom passed away in 2001, that was a question she asked me. My mom didn't know she was going to pass away that day. As a matter of fact, she had just got a really good bill of health from her doctor, and things were going really good. She was using oxygen, and she felt it was like being, my mom had the idea that oxygen was like being hooked up to a life support system. And she never wanted that. And we would never allow that as children of hers. And she told me she was not going to use it. And I said, Mom, if you don't use it, you're not going to be around. And I said, that's okay, I'm going to go with you. And she said, what do you mean you're going to go with me? And I said, well, if you refuse to use your oxygen, which is not a life support system, I refuse to wear my CPAP machine, so we're both going to leave here. And I got through to her, and she was okay with it. Unfortunately, she had a brain aneurysm later that evening, which we knew nothing was going to happen like that. You don't know about them things. That's something that, to survive one of those, you have to be really, really lucky. And have the right people on hand that notices it right off the bat. But she asked me that question. Do you still believe he still is with us? And I said, yes, I do. Now, this was in 2001, and then me and Ron got involved in this journey with the currency in 2008. 2008 or 2009. It was when you could buy Bitcoin for half a penny a piece. And we got involved in it, and I've always believed that. If it's never proven to me, I'll probably go to my grave believing that. But one of the sayings that I remember with him as a young kid, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And today, after watching this and listening to this video going over to my daughters, I decided to go into YouTube and watch some more videos of him. I've talked to you several times about a video that he does that in 1962, and you could tell it was an old video, the same way as you could tell the one today was an old video. A little bit better clarity today. I think they cleaned it up a little bit. But in 1962, this man who was trying to put an end to the cabal then, this great man, he made the statement. John was 4, 3 or 4 when he passed away, so he was at 2 or 3 at this time. He did this video. And he said that the hat would become the 45th president of the United States of America. Who became the 45th president of the United States of America? Who even knew who the hat was then? That was in 1962. I was 8 years old. He also made the statement that his son in the 1990s would fake his death and come back and work with the hat and save the world. What's going on now? I mean, how did he know this? As he's speaking in this video today, he makes a statement. Our problems can be fixed. And the reason they can be fixed is because they're man-made. Anything that is man-made can be fixed. We just have to have the courage to stand up to fix them. And I go, wow, that's true. He went on to say some other things, such as he knew at a certain point in his life he had to become the president. He had to take things over and change things because of the CABAL running things and not really giving us a life, not really allowing us to live like we wanted to live. And, in closing about talking about him right now, I'm going to say one thing here. And I truthfully believe if they wouldn't have did to him what they did, and Dr. Martin Luther King would have still been with us, I truthfully believe we would have never had anywhere near the problems. But see, it takes an amazing person, an amazing individual and groups of people that stand up and want to get what's wrong and make it right. So tip your cap to yourself tonight, anybody that's on this show, because you become them amazing people. You're willing to listen to a president such as John Fitzgerald Kennedy, which I'm sure some of you that's on this show tonight were not even alive when he left us. You can believe what you want to believe. Is he here? I believe yes. Do I have proof? No. Except for the fact that, there's change in the world. Not change. When I mean change, it's, nickels, dimes, the one with copper, quarters, half dollars, whatever, silver dollars. And that one that's copper, there's a gentleman by that name, and he went to a conference once. And on the street, when he was reporting to all of us, I don't know if you guys seen this or remembered it, but I got talking to Ron about this the other day. And on the street, he was making a statement. Oh, wow. I think I just saw Junior. And then he continued to say, and he's standing with a very lovely, distinguished woman, elderly, and continued to say, who was standing right in front, the distinctive gentleman is sitting in a wheelchair. He said who he believed it to be. I've already talked to you about a kid named Junior, and there's a beautiful woman that before Melania was hands down the most beautiful first lady in the world. Now with Melania, I mean, I think we're going to call it a tie for first, because if you knew Jackie when she was the first lady, and she wasn't even allowed to wear her style of really nice clothes did not distinctify her beauty, where Melania's, she just There's no words for how beautiful that lady is. But anyway, the gentleman in the suit, yeah, I still believe that I was right that day that I said nobody can kill my president or take out my president, whatever. My third and fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Colthurst, she came to my dad's wake in 1989. She was very good friends with my mom. And she came to my dad's wake, and me and her had a great talk. We stayed in some contact, but, she was my third, fourth grade teacher. And, as you move on, you lose contact. But for some reason, being a friend of my mom, it seems like we was always in somewhat, I would see her here and there. And she looked at me in my dad's wake in 1989 and says, "What do you feel about President Kennedy?" And I told her the same thing I did that day, that I wrote his initials in the floor of the schoolhouse right under my desk. And that's what I did. I took my protractor, that sharp thing. I think it's a protractor. I took it and I carved it in, his initials in the floor. And they're still there because I went in these people who bought the schoolhouse, turned it into a house, and I showed them right where I did it. And they said, we was going to fix that, but we're not going to now. It's, in a way, it's a monument. So that pretty much covers that. I did want to, I got some stuff, something here I want to read. And this has to do a little bit with the children, but when I read this, I said, oh, I got to read this tonight. Because it's pretty amazing. But according to the younger generation, my mama and daddy were apparently abusive to us when we were children. We were scared to get in trouble. They made us do household jobs, chores, go to church, and go to school. Gave us a curfew, and we had to be back in a house, in a yard, when the street light was on. Whooped our bottom when we did wrong, and even made us go get the switch that they used on us. They put food on the table, and we were expected to sit down as a family and eat. They put clothes on our back, and we were expected to wear them. They suggested we get a job and work for the things that we wanted that they could not afford or would not buy. They insisted that we do our best at school, at our job, and take pride in our work. We grew up with morals, a good work ethic, and respect for the law and our elders. May I thank God every day for my mama and daddy. That is right in so many ways. There's some things I would have added. When they say they made us cut our own switch, they did. That was the scariest thing I think I ever lived through, was when my mom would look at me and she'd say, you go out in that backyard and you cut a switch, and that's what I'm going to whip your bare behind right after you get out of your hot bath tonight. I think I was a junior or senior in high school, and I was laying in bed one night, and I realized that of all the switches, of all the being scared, petrified that I was going to get my rear really whacked, my mom never did that. She was firm. She was really firm, but she never really, she spanked me when she caught me trying to smoke cigarettes, and that did a great thing for me because I never smoked. I was a young kid, and my cousin, who was my best friend at the time, he stole some cigarettes from his dad, and we were going to see what they was like. But there's so many things, guys, and I'm sure that if you had this and you read it yourself, especially if you're a kid my age, a person my age right now and Ron's age, you could add a lot more on there. I mean, I did add, we respect to be in the yard. We had a curfew. And I added, we did. And I mean, I talked to a lot of people about this. You better be in the yard when the street lights come on. Now, where I lived, right next to the school, so we had a big schoolyard, a big art yard. We was allowed to go into the schoolyard after the street lights. Once we proved we was there, the cousins and friends and that lived close, we was allowed to play hide and seek. But when one parent, it didn't matter which parent it was, whether it was my cousin's parents, whether it was my parents, the first parent to come out and say, hey, like my mom, hey, Ralphie, it's time to come in the house now, every kid had to go home. There was no, well, he's got to go, ha, ha, ha. No, it was, and nobody made any gestures of, oh, wow, look at that little sissy, his mommy's making him going out. No, there was nothing like that. And then one other thing I wanted to cover in that is the respect for elders. I've talked to you about, through the kids, Leilani. My aunt her name was Leilani Page. We called her Aunt Lonnie. And, you know, as I said, she was my mom's youngest baby sister, but her oldest sister was Aunt Florence. And when I was growing up, so many times we would go out on the farm to Aunt Florence's house and they would play cards. They would get, I mean, they'd have 6 or 8 tables set up playing euchre. And I'd watch and I would do this and that. But if we just go over there for a Sunday dinner or a supper or something, and we go in a dining room and I'd be sitting on the sofa. If an adult walked in, if I wasn't out of that chair, the minute I seen them walk in and give them the thing. And then, and I can remember doing it with my dad, my Uncle John, others. Then we sat at their feet. Oh yeah, we got the great pleasure. We got to rub their feet then. But we was respectful, and that's where you don't see it. And I'm even going to bring a subject up. My grandson lives with me. I can walk in the house. He can see me. He can be sitting there and there's no place else to sit because his mom might be laying on the couch and him and his dad's on the love seat. And we just, since Christmas is over now, we just put my rocking chair back in there. So I do have that to sit in. But kids nowadays, they have no, and I'm not saying all kids because I believe the kids we have on our group, I mean, I believe they would give us seat up. You hear that, Liam? You hear that, Ella? You know, which kind of aggravates me when I just said, do you hear that, Liam? You hear that, Ella? Addison, do you hear that? Hank, do you hear that? Kira, do you hear that? Because I covered all the kids tonight except my grandkids. I spent time with Addison all that afternoon today, and we had a blast and took a nice nap. But no, we had a really good time. When the kids got home, it was hot, so too hot for them to go out and play. They usually go out and jump on the trampoline, but it was cute because Amber, my daughter, is going to put Addison into gymnastics like super gymnast. She's going to put her in that, and she got her little gymnastics outfit today, and it's unicorns, and she is big into unicorns now. She had a little family get together, and for her birthday, and it was a unicorn party. Well, she's decided she wanted her big birthday party, which is going to be on the 29th, I think, of June at the swimming pool in Clifton. She decided she wanted Bluey. But now she's told her mom she wants unicorns again, which I was glad because I can't tell you what I just went and bought her because it's a gift for her thing, but it's something she really wants. And I just had to get my grandkids in there. Sorry, I went off course in that. So I'm not going to really talk about what Bruce said. I'm just going to kind of read what he had to say. And then I'm going to read Judy because I'm having a awful hard time breathing right now. So let's see what Bruce had to say last night. He said a lot of good things. And like what we have to keep in mind when I read about Bruce and the things that he said, he only has to be right one time. Oh, where's he at? Okay, this is starting off. This came from the bond masters with Wells Fargo. So in Geneva is where this came from. And according to the bond PM, a regular contact, and we have information coming to us that we are going to try and release the T3, Tier 4A and B. The idea is going to get the green light tonight. Theoretically, before midnight, Bruce will know if they do that about midnight, and Bruce is looking at another green light, and I'm using faith here because I don't actually know, but they are saying we're going to try, and this is good. I hope it's going to be good for all of us. The one thing we really want are the toll-free numbers, and all we need, and we've waited for a long time, 20 years, Bruce says, 2005, he thought in 20 years ago when he came in that he was late for the party. The bottom line is, anticipating some big news, the R&R and other payments, our intel is saying that people who get paid on the fourth Wednesday would get a bump up in their Social Security, and we talked about it, and it should happen Saturday or Wednesday, depending if you get your payment on Saturday or Wednesday for the fourth week. I think those who have already been paid might get another payment. I don't have the particulars on that, so the fifth Wednesday is the 29th of May, and we could be hearing it could happen. As far as the R&R goes, they're talking about when we go into the redemption centers that it would be paid to the to us as we're in the redemption centers in a lump sum. Bruce talked about 17 countries. Their currencies are moving up at a very alarming rate. The dinar, the dong, he mentioned some rupiah. He mentioned a couple of other ones. And then he said, and oh yeah, the Venezuelan currency, which that made me very, very happy because I know there's a lot of people that's on this show watching and participating that has the Venezuelan currency, because when I found out about it, I announced it on a show and a lot of people jumped at it. So, but he also said that there's 17, which made me feel good because me and Ron have 12 of them. And the bottom line is, he said nothing will be anywhere close to what the ZIM is. The ZIM, from Zimbabwe. The country is unbelievably rich. And disregard reports of you here that the United States is not. The United States is one of the top richest countries. He said, I can't even put into words how rich the United States is. Yes, we're hearing that the fiat currency has to go, and we know that. So see, that's the advantage that we have over everybody else that's eyes are closed. But as I said about Bruce, he was very good. And in a way, you can feel sorry for Bruce because he comes on twice a week. And, as I was talking to Linda the other day, and I said, it works out great for us because the 2 nights that I'm not on during the week and Ron's not on during the week, He is. So you're getting 5 nights of information. And I'm a firm believer that people that come to my show and Bruce's show and that, they're just starving for information. You want to know. Plus, with our show here, we give a little added advantage that we have the chat going over here and we allow you to talk. And sometimes I think that everybody's talking so much, you're not listening to what I say. You go back and watch it better later, and that's okay. Brings the numbers up, right? But I did have a message, and I'm just going to mention one message because I get a lot of hateful ones now, and I know who they're coming from, but I am going to mention one that someone messaged me the other day and they made the statement. They said, I don't understand why anybody follows you. You're an idiot. And they went on to call me some other names, and okay. They're entitled to their opinion. And I was going to respond to them, and I thought, you know what, it's not worth it. It just doesn't matter what they think. So I move forward, and I appreciate when people come on. I appreciate it when you talk, when you send me emails, and when you help me get information. As I was talking about Patriot Diane, and she hasn't been on lately, and I'm not going to lie. Diane not being on with 2 N's, it has bothered me. She sent me a message the other day, and she said something, and I went back and I said I could never do that. And I'm not going to tell you what she said because it's personal between me and her. But I said I could never do that. Just let me know what's going on. Let me be your friend. And yesterday she had a very good talk with Patriot6, and he was able to inform me what's going on, and she's okay. Everything is fine. It's just that, just like everybody in this thing here, we all go through our own times. We all go through times where we need our space, and just keep her in your prayers. Cindy, our good buddy, is going through a little bit of times. So keep her in your prayers, and just remember, soon we're gonna be there. So I'm gonna see what Judy has to say, but before I do want to talk a little bit about the Restored Republic today. So I got to go back and listen to it, because one of the things that was said, me and Ron both talked about this when I got to his house tonight after watching A Little Monkey. Because in it says, well, there's 2 things. The first thing I want to discuss is I really wish people would quit begging for money. I did, Janet. I did. I not only deleted, I've given that person who's doing this, I've given them the opportunity to stop, and they just keep doing it, so I blocked them. So I will not be receiving any more from them. But now I lost my train of thought. What was I thinking about? I don't know. Let's see what Judy has to say. Maybe I'll think about it then. Oh, no, that's oh, I know what it was. Wait a minute. I was listening to Restored Republic, and one of the things that was said that me and Ron both was confused with is they said, when we get to a certain point, they're going to be monitoring what we eat. They're going to send us a form every day. And what the form they send us, we have to eat that for our health. If we eat other stuff, we can lose all of our currency. And I want to go back, because I may be wrong on it, but I didn't bring it up to Ron. He brought it up to me, because I heard that and I thought, wow, what are we gaining here? If we say something, they can take everything away. If we don't eat something and we eat something else, they can take something away. Now, me and Linda has been talking, not Linda, me and Mary Ann have been talking about the food supply. And Mary Ann is big on the way the Jetsons, if you know the comic, the Jetsons, the way they used to get their food. They just pressed a button, it was there. And they've been noted, there's been notes that that's how we're going to go. But that'll take away the slaughtering of animals. That'll take away the things like that. But are we still going to, I don't know. Are we still going to be able to have meat? Is it going to be just vegetables? I don't know. But when they said that they're going to send us and this is what we have to eat, my goodness, we're more in prison then than we are now. I'm confused at how they're going to bring all this out. How are they going to get this across to people? And in the Restored Republic today, they mentioned how there's 10 major countries that's going to be handling the blackout. And as the blackout goes out, when it comes back on, we will everyone all over the world be hooked up to the Tesla free energy. But my thing is, you're just going to black it out with no notice? The people whose eyes are closed, they're going to have nothing, no way to know what's going on. So why wouldn't they come on with an EBS, just a short one, and just announce? It might take 10 minutes. On this day, we're going to have a blackout. Do not worry, it's going to last this long, but everything is under control. We're a total charge. We will turn everything back on, and when we do, it'll be 1,000 times better than it was before. Or we're going to do 10 days, and you're going to be watching movies for 10 days. We're going to play X amount in 8-hour segments, 3 times a day. And you're going to be watching. It's going to explain everything. Explain to them, this is not going to be for everyone. So, if you're watching these movies and you're starting to have problems, if you know somebody who is a patriot and understands what's going on, get with them and let them explain. See, what I just said there took me about 2 minutes. Why can't they come on and make an announcement? Because I have no clue of how they're going to try to come on and do this. I really don't. But we'll see, because they're in charge, not us. Restored Republic, Judy Bidington, 17th of May. Wow, we're halfway through the month, over halfway through. Judy says, EBS alert, martial law declared across hundreds of U.S. cities. 10-day blackout, GITMO, secret tribunals, rollout of redemption centers and quantum financial cards. The 17th letter, Junior on Telegram, Thursday, 16th May, 2024. Trust the plan, hold the line, justice is coming. More holiness, give me. Judy noted, as my opinion based below, the mass arrests have gone on for some time, and they were so successful that Tuesday, 14th May, President the Hat gave the green light for the global military to activate the final phase of the plan to save the world. As soon as on Saturday, 18th May, we might see the Supreme Court announcement of the Brunson case, which was that SCOTUS agreed Congress did not investigate invalid allegations of what happened in 2020 fraud. That decision would automatically nullify, what happened in 2020 elect and dissolve the sleepy administration and all of Congress. The deep state cabal and the UN have, though, allowing millions of illegal migrants to enter the country, placed military-age men across the U.S., caused chaos, and in the event of such announcement, the military under the hat has been placed in around 360 cities to quell such expected riots. A sky event, destruction of 34 satanic structures across the globe has been planned, which would cause worldwide blackout, which would be a cover for people across the globe and switch to nuclear energy, Tesla-free energy. Such events would be sure to cause a global financial crisis in which would trigger the global currency reset. All is well. Trust the plan. Hold the line. Trust justice is coming. Where we go one, we go all. WWG1WGA. No one can stop what is coming. NOCSWC. The above is my opinion only. From Judy. Both President the Hat and VP Jr. confirmed that the green light has been given to the global military alliance to move forward. Expect major arrests, stock market crashes, global blackouts, transitions to Tesla-free energy, and a shift to rainbow currency. Emergency broadcast system activation in response to the announcements. 10 countries will activate the emergency broadcast system. A Supreme Court announcement on the Brunson brothers that Congress failed to investigate. I've already read that. Major arrest and justice restoration. The announcement is expected to trigger a wave of major arrests targeting individuals involved in corruption and malfeasance, whatever. With the green light from President the Hat, all available assets have been deployed. Military in position to approximately 300 and 360 cities, 10 countries running EBS. The event is malfactored operation with far-reaching implications, disrupting normalcy, triggering serious reactions. The nature, this event shrouded in mystery, adding the tension and anticipation. The term black swan suggests unprecedented and unpredictable event that could alter the course of history. 34 significant buildings, 34 significant, including one house, a palace in Buckingham, and the VAT will be involved in the event. Prepare for the Black Swan event with worldwide blackout and implementation of Tesla-free industry. Make sure you have food, water, medicine, and everything up to standard, and maybe a little extra just in case your next door neighbor is not available. The rest of this here just starts repeating. I was going to look to see what she had. On Monday, 13th May, the letter between P and R, Storm 1776 said, 3 more days, be ready. On Tuesday, 14th, that same letter, mission accomplished, operators engaged, may be Saturday, May 18th. Global currency reset, Wolverine. The World Bank says Brazil will go on Thursday, 16th May, a huge well in Zurich. Got the green light. Bond holder will be probably blessed this week. Remember, the bond holders go first, and then the currency holders, Tier 4B, will actually be golden in a few days, in my opinion, as soon as bondholders are paid. Bruce, Thursday, 16th May, 2024. On Wednesday, 15th, one of the top people at Wells Fargo said it looked good for the shotgun start in the next 2 days. Actually, Wells Fargo is starting to use the term shotgun start. The Iraq dinar has been trading in Iraq and was supposed to be on the Forex soon. Iraq paid back the IMF an $8 billion loan they received in 2003. They had to have a revalued dinar in order to do that. The new dinar rates are on the ATMs in Iraq airports. The new country dinar rate is over $8. 18 countries we're going up in value with GCR. A week ago yesterday, Iraq was accepted in the World Trade Organization, the WTO. A Wells Fargo bond paymaster said that they were going to release this to Tier 3, 4A, and B later tonight. We may get the R&R restitution allowance beginning on the 4th Wednesday of May or the end of May. Zim holders will get their R&R at their appointment, added to their exchange totals. And then they go into stuff. She goes into stuff that I've already covered. Wow, I did not expect to go this long. But guys, I am struggling, so I'm going to say a prayer. And I thank everyone for showing up this week. It's been an eventful week. Things are happening and we're not seeing, but they are happening. The arrests are really raising. So it's almost to the point, and I'm gonna end this and go into prayer. But the last thing I want to say, it's almost the point where they've run out of excuses of why they can put a stop to this. The big people are gone. The big fish are out of the pond. It's just the little bitty fish who's wanted to be big fish, but they're not going to get the opportunity. They're going to end up in some frying pan. With that being said, I want to say prayer. I want to thank each and every one of you from myself and Patriot 6 for being part of our Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 family. We love each and every one of you. Dear Lord, as we come to the end of tonight's show, we ask you to look after all the children, 100% of the children, and also the people who come to our show, people that have family who need help, and everyone, Lord, that needs help. There's so many people that need you. They need you so much, and we're praying to you that you are there for them as we are there for you and our Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Good night, everyone.